Two students coordinated jerking off in English class. What was your high school's wildest NSFW scandal? Hey viewer, how have you been? It's been so long that we've done a story time together. Or not, depending on if you're binging my channel. If you're binging my channel, then you probably like the content, so give you boy Andrew subscribe, or at least a like. If you do, I'll send you some mango-flavored White Claws or Trulies depending on your preference. Enough chit-chat, let's start the stories. Someone put gear oil in the machine shop teacher's coffee. Damn near killed him. Our history teacher made multiple sexual remarks to a female classmate. One time he pulled her shirt up because her cleavage was distracting. He retired not long after that. All these pedophile teacher stories and all my high school did was start a rumor a girl named Janie didn't have a butthole. My statistics teacher got fired when he accidentally turned on the projector to show his Mac screen to the whole class and a porn site was open. One of the girls were ducking the admin, she was 16 to 17 when that started. Heard an update from an old classmate nearly 20 years later, and not only have they stayed together, they're married, got 3 kids and live the upper middle class suburban dream life. A student was having sex with many girls in the gym locker room or music practice rooms. This was discovered due to an explosion in STD rates. I don't recall if it was chlamydia or gonorrhea. Yuck. There was this younger, smokin' hot female teacher at my high school. Her BF was on The Real World, and she did a visit on the show wearing a super skimpy bikini and talking about her BF's dick. Everyone had already had a crush on her, but this pushed it over the edge. I don't know if she quit teaching, but I don't remember seeing her around school after that year. A student routinely masturbated in the gender-neutral bathroom without cleaning up after himself, and when people found out they started leaving post-it notes that read "nut-free zone." Our principal had to address the entire school about it. Edit. I'm in no way saying this was a problem with the bathrooms themselves, but it was 100% a problem because of that individual. My biology teacher was having sex with a sophomore. It became a personal problem for me because I wanted to take AP Bio the next year, and I needed a recommendation from my current teacher to take the class. I asked the AP instructor if I should go to the state penitentiary to get my letter. Edit. That requirement was waived for me, but I'm okay saying terrible things about the ordeal instead. I went to a charter school in PA. The founder stole hundreds of thousands of dollars from the school district and used it for himself. In the back of the school, he built an apartment with a stripper pole, but it was hidden in the school. You could only get to it through one door hidden in a closet. He was eventually caught stealing money and he committed suicide. One of our history teachers had been a stripper before becoming a teacher. This was years earlier. She was a stripper before she even went to college to get her teaching degree. We found out about this because the father of one of my classmates had been a regular customer of hers and recognized her at a student-teacher conference. He told his son, who obviously told the entire school. A few years ago I had the TV on in the background with a true crime show going, wasn't paying much attention to it until I heard the line. There wasn't much else for high school kids to do in wife's hometown during year wife would have been in high school. Started paying attention, and it's covering some kind of sex ring that ended with the murder of one of the participants. Brought it up with my wife, and she was like, "What? I don't remember." Oh, right, that incident. Long story short, a student was caught having sex with a sheep at the tiny farm the school ran for the agricultural elective students. Edit. So, since it's been asked a few times, the only slightly longer part of the story was that the class was, as stated, an agriculture elective. Once a student had completed enough required worksheets, they got to go over to the farm and do some work instead of sitting in class writing. Not exactly easy, but it was nice when the weather was cool. This guy had the class for both morning sessions, so he said he'd just stay over at the farm and get a ride back at the end of the next class. Well, amongst other incidents, he was not the brightest bulb in the box. Seems he lost track of time, and the next class came walking up to the barn with him balls deep in the sheep. Word was, the sheep didn't seem to notice. The soccer coach was sleeping with 4 of the soccer players, 16 to 18 years old, 2 of them being other teachers' daughters. They had it completely secret until his wife found a journal where wrote about each time he slept with each girl on the team. At the end of the school day we walked out and there was 4 to 5 cop cars and they were walking him out of his building in cuffs. If I remember correctly, the girls didn't have to come back to school for the rest of the school year, it was close to the end anyway. Everyone found out their names pretty quickly. Biggest scandal at that school in decades. We had a charity thing in high school where you'd raise money for cancer. The amount being raised was shown on a thermometer, and every limit would force a teacher to shave their head. On the very top was this French teacher. Anyways, the initiative was due to finish after lunch recess. A bunch of people are in the gym shaving their heads and trying to raise money. Bills are flying down from the bleachers, and we raised just enough money right at the bell. The French teacher was knocked down and ran away, causing all the students to chase her into the bathroom, banging on the door and crap. She soon after had a bit of a mental breakdown. Someone at school found out her Lava Life profile and she left. Also, some students stole all the money raised in the initiative from the gym. Principal sexually harassed a teacher. Gym teacher was fired for being too close to female students. I couldn't get any more details, but I did witness his strange behavior towards females in the class many times. One girl had a key to his office. Students having sex in bathroom per second theater. Nobody ever got caught in the theater as far as I know. There was also a stabbing my freshman year. I didn't witness that itself, but I was in the hallway that it happened on and witnessed the loud and panicked crowd. Edit. For any more people wondering if we went to the same high school, I went to high school in Tennessee. This was a year or 2 after I graduated, but there was this one teacher at my high school who was fired for, in no particular order of weirdness, buying booze for students, smoking weed with students, buying weed for students, buying weed from students, writing a paper for a student for a different class in exchange for weed, driving certain students who skipped school to a bar in a different city several hours away, sending a student a completely unsolicited text that said, "I've never wanted to cheat with anyone in my life, but I want to with you." Offering to buy a student a $500 knife and give it to him at school, explaining it thus. "If I can walk around campus with marijuana on me, you can walk around with a shipping box with a knife in it. Kiddo, you can't walk around campus with marijuana on you." She was the scripture teacher. That position, at that school, at least when I was there, was as cursed as the defense against the dark arts job at Hogwarts. I think this happened right after I graduated, but I was still friends and neighbors with the PE teacher. One day while changing, one of the students thought it would be funny to crap in his own hand, carry it into the gym, and throw it at his friend who had already changed and was waiting for class to start. The teacher was too shocked to do anything at first, but it splattered off the other kid's shirt, and then that kid started projectile vomiting. It started a chain reaction, and multiple students started dry heaving and then puking onto the gym floor, running out. The gym was closed down for like 2 weeks and had to be repainted, the hardwood floors refinished. The kid who carried out the crap fest received no punishment from the school, and the teacher moved to a different school the next year. Also, the wrestling coach got arrested for possession of child pornography and inappropriate behavior with a few students. We had a football coach ducking one of the cheerleaders. I was so blind to it all. He was my positional coaches and I had respect for him, so I never believed it. He never talked about it and I was friends with that cheerleader and she always denied it. 2 years after graduation they got married because she was already pregnant with their second child. She dropped out of college her first semester and became a stay-at-home mom. Her Facebook page now is just really sad. It has been almost 16 years since we graduated and she still seems miserable. All her dreams just vanished and she is still married to that coach who is getting older and fatter. He is over 60 and she is in her 30s. The football star at my high school was accused of sexually assaulting a 4-year-old child and went to jail for it based off very little evidence. He was sentenced to 25 years. It was my junior year and it was his senior year. He had a full-ride scholarship to play football and he, along with everyone else, really thought he'd make it to the NFL. He served 3 years of that sentence when the county's new DA looked over his case and saw that there was basically no evidence, so he was released. This was in summer 2017, and he was officially exonerated last year. Turns out it was his best friend, who looked just like him and lived with him, who did it. Dude is doing really well now. His girlfriend stuck with him through the whole thing and they're married now. There's actually a documentary on Showtime about it that just came out. Thanks for watching. What did you think of the story time? Let me know in the comments below. If you liked the video, smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any more story times.